Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Let's do some unboxings. And I'll tell you about a fun little, maybe not so little, project, event, whatever the hell you want to call it, that is coming this way. I am putting together what I am calling the 82cc challenge. And it all started with some friendly banter and, just chatting on House of Homelight. There was a gentleman there who was talking about his saw running experiences, and he wasn't being inflammatory in any way at all, but he said that any one of his 82cc McCullochs would hand a Super XL 925 a loss anytime if you're going for speed cutting. Well, naturally, those are fighting words. I mean, that's like Ford versus Chevy. I mean, come on. It is. So I kind of bantered back a little bit and went, wait a minute, let's have some fun with this. Now, this saw that I'm unboxing has nothing to do with that, but it's part of my ridiculous fascination with some of the Macs from this era. I've talked about this before on the channel, I bought my first brand new saw when I was 16. It was either 15, right on the verge of 16, or it just turned 16. I can't remember, but it was a 2014, 1995. Well, yeah, 95. I would have been still 15. Anyhow, I bought a 2014, which obviously was a lot smaller than this thing, but yeah, I mean, it was a Kmart special, 99 bucks on sale. I was pretty proud of it, and for what it was, it did pretty good. So anyway, this particular style of saw has captured my interest for some reason. Now this one is I want to say, a 49cc, yeah, an 8. Even though the cover says 848, the tag down here says 849. So either this has been changed out, or McCulloch had some issues with their labeling, which wouldn't surprise me one little bit. But it has compression, about as much as it probably ever had. Not bad. Missing screws all over the place, and that one's busted off. That's going to be fun. Probably needs a primer bulb. Well, that one is, I'll be damned, it isn't in bad shape. Likely will need hoses and a kit. I've got a few things that I've accumulated for it. It's obviously missing its chain brake. And I've got one of those that, it's actually cleaner than the rest of the saw. I can see now that it's missing a bar stud, so this one will take a little bit of work. Got a bar and chain hanging up here too. So that's enough on that. I'm excited to have it simply because the model is not one that, to the best of my knowledge, would have been sold in the United States. The 848 in the IEPL, 848, 849, and 846, these Timber Bear models were labeled as a Euro Mac. And even though it says assembled in Mexico, to the best of my knowledge, they were overseas saws, or north of the border. So anyway, fun one, I'll get to it later. Let's get to the more important stuff. Back to the 82cc challenge. There were 3 manufacturers that I know of the North American saws that I, am fond of, that had 82cc saws. Obviously, Homelight had a crap ton of them. McCulloch had a crap ton of them. I couldn't even begin to list them all. The Super Pro 80, Super Pro 81, the ProMac 800, ProMac 850. There was an 805 in there. That Double Eagle 80. I know I'm missing some. But I posted on the forum, kind of my intentions and kind of the guidelines I'd set down, and basically solicited a little advice on what McCulloch to get. Now that hasn't arrived yet, but we settled on an SP. The recommendation from this gentleman who knows him pretty well was the SP81 or a ProMac 850. Well, I took a big damn gamble on eBay and bought a SP81 the other night that It's either going to be a sleeper or it's going to be a giant dud. We'll see. So we know McCulloch and Homelight are part of this equation. Who else qualifies? Well, how about a Pioneer P51? I thought, God, I gotta get rid of some of these boxes. This is ridiculous. Damn space in here. So a P51 ought to be, I mean, it's right at 82 cc's as well. So I thought, man, when I saw this, cool. Now there's some caveats. According to the seller, the spark plug mounting is stripped. And looking at it right here, that could well be, but that doesn't scare me off. I can fix... When's the last time I didn't have a freaking spark plug on the bench? I can fix that. I can fix a spark plug hole. You know, it's not fun to have to put a helicoil in there, but you can do it. That's definitely wobbly. Wobbly. But as to whether it's actually stripped or not, I'm not convinced it is. That is not stripped. With a gas... Oop. Well, we'll see. It's close. It's close. We'll see. We'll see. But like I say, I can deal with that. More importantly, I do want to know if we have any spark. Let's put our handy dandy spark tester on here. Let's see, you guys... There, you can see that. Up, ought to be on, to my way of thinking. Alright. So, looks like there's going to be some challenges here. But, let's see. Great compression. So, whatever, I can deal with a coil if I have to. I'll put an insert in that cylinder head and get this thing running. I just want to check a few things out here while I chat about that challenge. So I'll put a link in the video to my original post on House of Homelight on kind of the so-called rules. I'm not going to repeat them all here, but in general, I want to match these saws up as much as possible when it comes to limitations, or how should I put it? I want the carburetors to be as close as possible in terms of how they're set up. And there we go. So this is a Walbro, and it has it appears to have a governor on the side of it, so that's good. That was my big thing. Homelight introduced, I believe, with the 921 and 923 saws, introduced that governor because they were having so many of the damn things that were burning up. So I want to, that governor limits how much you can adjust the high-speed jet. So I didn't want to run saws that weren't equal. You know, I wanted them all have that handicap, essentially. Maybe that's not the best word to use, but it's the best one that comes to mind. So this does have a governor on this Walbro SDC, which is interesting. I've never seen a governed SDC on a Homelight, so that must have been something special that they did for at least Pioneer, probably others. So, I see a fresh fuel hose in here. Relatively fresh Tygon right there. You know, I have to give it one more crank with the kill switch disconnected, because we know those go bad. I'm sure I'm not that lucky. I'm sure the previous owner would have checked that. Yeah, no, not that lucky. But hey, worth a shot, right? So it's a clean saw. It's complete, and this isn't one that came with a chain brake, which is fine. I don't know how common chain brakes were on these bigger Pioneers. I know the smaller ones up to the roughly 58 cc's where they had the farm saw and the farm saw too. It was pretty common to see chain breaks up to there, but this next class up, I have no idea. I've always been a fan of these Pioneers, just the way they look. They're just a good looking saw, and any that I've ever seen cutting and any that I've used have cut like mad. So good news is this Pioneer will use the same basic guide bar that a Homelight does, and the same thing on that McCulloch if I put some spacers on the bar studs. So that'll be part of the challenge. I will run literally the same bar and chain on all three saws with the same sharpening. If I have to touch it up between runs, I will with a hand file, and I'll lower the depth gauges if I have to take much off. But if I'm smart, I shouldn't screw anything up. So this is clean, guys. This is really clean. If I can figure out the coil system or situation, this is gonna be a slam dunk. So that's the story. We got this guy. I'm glad to see these covers are. I'm sure there's a trick that I'm not using. No, that's not it. There we go. Maybe. Good Lord. Came off easier than that. Big old muffler and full wrap handle make that difficult. Say, I'm not sure what the trick is here, but I won't waste a bunch of video time dicking around with that. So yeah, 82cc challenge. We'll get a log together, a log that's got consistent diameter for, you know, hopefully a good 3 to 4 foot section. And there's some talk that we might do this at the get-together with TJ this year in the spring, which would be great. He's got a great, nice, level piece of property out there, and we could set a log up in the bucket of the tractor, chain it up there, have it a nice height, and with a setup like that, if I'm with TJ, we could both do cuts, so that you know, if one saw is slower or faster with a different operator or something like that, we can kind of average that out, have two different people making the cuts. So yeah, here it is, the P51. It won't be too long before you guys will see a video with this thing running. I can guarantee you that. I'm not going to hang around and wait on this one. I want it going now. So yeah, the SP81 ought to come in, let's hope, maybe next week. This is Tuesday, and to think about that one. So yeah, I would imagine mid next week, tail end of next week, it ought to come in. I don't think it was too far away from me. So in fact, this came from Portland or Rainier or somewhere right in the north end of Oregon. So that's kind of cool to keep it in the state and have some fun. So that's it. Look forward to more updates on the 82cc challenge as it gets closer, as we get some more details ironed out, get the saws all ready. You'll definitely be hearing more about that, and it's going to be fun. We're going to just see who cuts the fastest with the same bar and chain. And I'm not going to do any stopwatches or anything like that on site. We're just going to video it from the end. You guys will see the, you know, the approach entering the wood and leaving. We've all got ways of timing at home. We'll just see. We'll see where it lands. And in all reality, I don't expect there to be a hell of a lot of difference between slowest and fastest, but I don't know. I don't have a clue, to tell you the truth. That's why we're doing it. We'll find out. And it's going to be good, clean fun.